Thank you for joining me here again on Sunshine Forest on Farming Simulator 25. It's episode 4 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into October. Another month has gone by. I know, it's 8:09. It's stayed dark a lot longer. And I'm just clearing out the facilities. You know how sometimes when you got to go, you've just got to go. And we couldn't access them, so I thought, you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just piling up to the side just so we can actually get in one of them, you know? That's what I'm going to do now. I've just moved all that pile out of the way. We'll put that down somewhere it's not going to pick a load of stuff up. There you go, up against the wall. And that's that done. Right, so, what are we up to today? Well, all sorts of cool stuff, I would imagine. I mean, I'm not sure yet. It's a bit kind of all over the place. As you've already seen, though, logging, oh yes. And for the contract adverse, those of you that aren't a fan of contracts, I haven't done a contract for the last... I know it sounds ridiculous, but the last however many hours, because the Deadwood contracts, the price seems to be going down and down and down. The last one I did was 900. You saw in the thing, I brought all those Deadwood trees over, took them to the lumberyard. Was it 325? I got 355. I honestly think that is completely nerfed. That has to be adjusted. I get it. It shouldn't be worth as much as full trees, but they still have a worth, and that is ridiculously low. Anyway, so I'm not going to be retrieving the Deadwood stuff anymore. There's just no point. And like I say, the next one I think I've been offered is worth 750, not 900. The original ones I was doing were in the thousands when I had no money, and that was the case of getting the equipment I needed so I could start logging myself, which we're at now. Improving the equipment so we can log easier, and then let's get some trees down. So we're up to 180,000. The third load, I did 4 loads. The third load I seriously overloaded it. And what I did, because the reach of this isn't particularly, massive, down there, I don't know if you recall, there's some rocks down there, and there were some piles of gravel, sand, bits and bobs. So what I did to give myself a little bit of extra elevation if I needed it, I pulled the trailer up next to the rock piles, or in case of like something like this, and then just drove up so I got the wheels onto a pile, so it just got me a little bit higher so I could stack a little bit higher. So yeah, we did alright. So now it's time. We've got a couple of things we're going to do. We need to buy our land first, because obviously this land is owned by the ministry, and I can't buy or place anything on it without being part of the ministry, so it's time. Yeah, there's the contracts. We're going to go back to there. So it's this plot here we're buying. It's not a huge plot because we drive all the way across. Because I thought, oh, excellent! I'm going to put a roadway in. I've got that roadway pack that gives you AI splines. Is it Ola Haldor? And I thought, what we'll do, but I don't think that's going to work. That won't work yet because we'll have a gap between here and here. But we're going to buy this plot, 53,000. That was the target first of all. So, buy. That now means if we go across to farmland, you'll see now that we overhang the river, which means we can now put our bridge in. So our temporary bridge can come out, which means we can get rid of the logs and take those out. But we've still got 127,000, and it also means on that plot of land we can start ploughing up and getting ready for farming. I'm going to get some crops in the ground first. I'm going to build up to. We're going to need a barn. We're going to need a farmhouse. I'm going to start off. I think we'll put a tent down there. So we've got our own place to stay. Again, that building that I showed all the way down here, that is owned by the ministry. So I'd have to go onto their account. Now, I'm going to do a bit of behind the curtain now. If you're not a big fan of that, that's absolutely fine. If you can look away now or skip ahead or whatever. But if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'm playing this on multiplayer. Just for quick access and me jumping on, because this was a sudden decision. I thought, oh, you know what I'm going to do, and just leapt on so I could get started. So if we come down to here, I've got multiple farm setup, and I've done this before. So if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know how this works. But if you're new to the channel, you might be thinking, one, what is he talking about? A ministry, and why does he not own the land and whatever? So the ministry owns the land, and the ministry has a budget, so they have money. So when I'm asking for stuff, I'm paying for the stuff, but obviously they deliver it. I'm on their land, and that's why I wasn't sure if I could cut down the trees and stuff like that. So when I said I don't own the land, I don't. When I'm on here, on mine, I don't own the land. If I want to place anything or do anything on the ministry land, I have to be on the ministry bank account, on their farm. That's how it works. So as it stands at the moment, we're on ours. We've just bought our land, which is great. But what I'm also going to do, because, and don't get me wrong, again, to get us started and get us to where we are, this has worked fine. And we need a tractor, because we're going to need the tractor for ploughing and stuff like that. One, I'm going to need a plough. Two, going to need a seeder. Do I have enough to do all this? I have to cut some more trees down. But, again, so I can load this up higher without having to go up into piles of stuff, I need a better vehicle for loading. So, we'll probably keep the front loader, but I'm going to get rid of the grapple. You'll see what I mean. What also I'm going to do on our land, we said we can't sell equipment and machinery here. I'm going to put in my own workshop, and we've got a workshop that will allow me, but again, I might need to put some trees down and do some extra stuff, so we want, how is that? Oh, it's a 6105 for 18 grand. Wowzers. Oh, of course it would be, wouldn't it? Anyway, so I'm going to go for telehandler. I'm going to go for JCB. So look at the prices of all of these. And yes, admittedly, the Merlot has got a rear 3-point. I was looking at that thinking that would be perfect. But we got a tractor instead because it was a lot cheaper. That's only 108 grand. Now, admittedly, that's on the standard engine, 125 horsepower. No way. Serious? Oh, I can get the 140. I thought I'd have to pay more. I can get the 145 horsepower for no extra cost. Six-speed variable transmission. I think we'll go variable. The Agri Pro, of course. So I'm going to fiddle around with this, and we're going to buy this for 108 grand, which will leave us a little bit. I'm going to have to take some more trees down because I need to put in a workshop. We need to put in our tent. We need to get a plough, and we need to get a seeder. I won't have enough money yet to do fertilising or anything like that. But I want to at least our bridge as well. I think the bridge is going to cost me 5 grand. I'm pretty sure the workshop's 5 grand. So we've got a few bits and bobs, and I want to get the front grapple that I'm going to need for this, which will make loading logs far, far easier. So let me sort this out, and I will see you momentarily. Slight mishap. The telehandler, I went to go and get the grapple, for the telehandler, and I thought the grapple was front loader or telehandler, but it's not. It's front loader or skid steer loader, so it's not gonna work. So what I've done is I bought a manure fork, which is what I said originally I used a lot more of when I'm using telehandlers. So we've got our and that usually I can do a couple with that. So we've got our JCB sorted, and we've got that manure fork, which has got not a bad size actually. Open it up a little bit, should get a couple of logs now. We should be all right with that. It's a little bit bigger, but yeah, they didn't do that fork. So what we're going to do now is head down. We're going to sort the bridge out. The logs that we've got as our temporary bridge, we can take out, we can load up onto a trailer, we can bring back, and we can sell. Now this should. I know on 22, the JCB was a nightmare for hooking up to stuff. It should hook up to the trailer, so I could run it potentially as it is as a logging operation in its own right. And well, let's jump in. Let's get it off the train first, and the train can be on its merry way. Turns tight. Very nice. Let's head down to our land. We've got a tent to put in. We're going to put the workshop in, and then we can get rid of the grapple on the front of the tractor. The weight as well, if we're going to hook up to this potentially. Just trying to think actually how we can make this work. I'm also considering what other front loader equipment is available that will make that front loader far more useful. I can't remember where our boundary and border is, but let's head down. Let's get the bridge in, get a workshop in. That's going to be 10 grand. That'll only leave us 5. That's not going to be enough to buy a plough. Don't think so. Or a seeder. But we will have a bit of land in. Now we don't have. This is very open, the land we've got here, and it's cheap. That's why we've got it. But also, there's plenty of space so we can get our farming operation underway. I don't think it takes in any of the bits of forestry. You can double check. If it does, if we've got some forestry here to the side, maybe we'll see. Because all I've got to do is just drive over. We have a look on here. I always think it should show you on the mini map, maybe. But if we go to here, then to here. Oh yeah, we might just have the very corner. Let's drive in a little bit further. We've got a few trees here. Where are we on our map now? Oh yeah, we've got a bit, haven't we? We have got some forestry here. Ooh. Oh, okay, now we're out of it. So we've got a little bit. Oh yeah, tent as well. We need our own sleeping quarters now. How far? We should not be outside our realm. We shouldn't be outside our realm. Just hang on a second. Oh, I turned that back off again, didn't I? Oops. So our crossing point should be just past here. Oh yeah, we should be well within our zone. Which also means we can landscape too. Let's go. Oh blimey, yeah, we go way up. We've got a few trees in here as well we can take out. These tall ones, we can get rid of those. We'll get those out. These other ones I'm not sure about. These are going to take a little bit more logging, a little bit more work. I mean, they're worth money, don't get me wrong. I think we'll definitely need a winch at some point. So, I'm going to put my bridge in now. And we're going to go to... Was it decoration or others? Let's try others first. Here we go. Yeah, I don't think I need the long bridge. I think we can get away with the short one. We do own the land, so... Yeah, whatever. I can move my... Where do I want it? Actually, I put that equidistant between those two trees. Mind you, if I'm going to take those two trees out, it doesn't really matter. Do I want it... It doesn't really matter now, does it? Let's just put it in. Hopefully this works. We've got our bridge. Right, we need to do a little bit of landscapage, I think, to deal with those. Oh, I hope I can reach those, otherwise that's going to be a bit of an issue. But anyway, bridge is in, so we can now take out a temporary bridge. All those logs can come out. Those can come down. How we offer every single time without fail. So, do I want to put my tent here where the crossing is? Or do I want it over by... So what I need to do as well... Actually, now I own the land, we can put some markers in. What I might do is put a couple of posts in or something, so that from a distance you can see... Maybe a couple of flags. I could, if I can find a... there's got to be something, hasn't it? We can put in the ground. Something shiny and bright that will stand out. Put that there. Now we know where the crossing is. Just move that over. That can be a log we can sell, that's not a problem. Yes, what I was going to say was, this keeps on happening. I know I keep saying it keeps happening, but it does. Oh, that was something else I found as well. The axe is much quicker at cutting trees down. But what I did find was a few trees I cut. I made a right hash of cutting some of them. I had some bigger stumps, and weirdly, when I was trying to cut the stump, the axe wouldn't do it. I had to use the chainsaw. So it's like it would only do certain widths. Does that make sense? Pick up. So let's take you down. Of course you would. It's actually can't any of that. Nope. That needs to be on the ground. Oh, I didn't really want to have to do that one. Of all the directions. Oh, okay. Oh, this goes out quite a bit further, doesn't it? Okay. Why are we not? I'll deal with you later. I've got work to do. Boom, boom. Right. Let's go those trees out. I'm going to put my tent in here, I think. Oh, workshop. Do I want my... Am I going to set my base camp up down here by the bridge? I think I might do, actually. We might have a little farmhouse here down by the river. Oh, I've just had another idea. So we can have our farm down here by the river because, hey, you need a water source. And you don't want to be going miles to get your water. So to start off with then, we need to go up to here, across to here. And let's put in, just to get us going, these are actually fairly cheap. Oh, did I not? There it is, 26. Let's have a tent. And we'll have it down by the river. The sun comes up that way. Let's move over a little bit. There we go. Pop you in. And then we also need, under tools, our workshop. So the workshop going in is this one here, 5,300, and that gives us the ability to repair and repaint. And what we'll do is, let's turn it this way around. Let me just have a look. Actually, I might put it this side of this tree here. Just because, you know, we don't want to spoil the landscape, you know. Spoil the landscape. Sticking a shipping container on it. Boom. Okay, that's in. So, we'll come back and deal with that in a moment. We now have our sleeping quarters, which means we can sleep for the night. We are establishing our base camp. And then over here, this should work. He says, I need to clear a bit of the land here. What's that we could do with as well? We need a mower. Because I wonder if we can cut all this. Oh, that's a lot of grass. Cut, Ted, bale. That's a lot of land with grass on it. Ooh. Maybe we should test that first. Where's our workshop trigger? Repaint, repair, customize. So if you bring over a vehicle, it'll also give the option to return or sell. At least I think it does. So that's that bit done. Excellent stuff. And we're down to 5,000. So bridge is in. That's done. Sleeping quarters are done. And we are establishing our settlement. I'm very excited. Feel like some. It's more overcast than I thought it was going to be. I suppose what I could probably do with is I've always found as well with the manure forks that because the tines are quite small, generally you watch it's not going to work now. me extolling its virtues, and then it won't work. Come on, there we go. Yeah, I suppose picking them up out of the water, putting them on the floor to bring over the trailer seems a bit ridiculous. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go and grab the trailer, turn the engine off, bring that over. So as I'm getting them out of the water, I can load them straight onto the trailer. It seems ridiculous. I'll deal with that tree. I'll cut that tree down, maybe a couple of the others, so I can get another load onto the trailer. We'll clear a few of these taller trees on our land, and I'm thinking I might get a mower first. I know I need to plough, but I want to see if I can mow this land. I'm genuinely curious because I have no idea whether we can or not. I am making assumptions. Do a little bit of landscaping, maybe a bit of weed whacking, cut up a few of these, but we've got our axe, we can chop a few of these bits, and I'll get on with it. Yeah, this, I don't want to take that tree down. It's 9:36. I honestly didn't realise just how many logs it had taken to fill that river. As I started loading them up, I was thinking, wow, okay, I almost did one full bunk bit, because I've sort of split them in two. And as you can see, those trees, I've done all of them bar, I assume two. Again, I'm going to have to go out a little bit further to see just how far our land goes, because there's another one a bit further on, but that might be out of our jurisdiction. So I haven't done all of them, but we are pretty full. And what I wanted to check as well to see was when I hooked the JCB up, would the whole thing catapult itself off into the, the realms that we have discussed many times before. But what I was also going to show you, and I've lost it, I was standing right by it. Oh, here we go. Where I've been cutting the trees down, I've just been doing a little bit of landscaping. So wherever each tree stump is, I've just cut a bit of the grass around it, just so that when we come back I can find them. Because obviously when I start ploughing, I don't want to plough in the areas where I've got tree stumps, and I'm going to have to come along with the stump grinder. I have to get some of those stumps out anyway. But what we're going to do now is head back over. On the way back over, when I came over with the trailer and the tractor, I managed to take a couple of barrels from over at the train station. Oh, actually, this is working all right. I thought the weight over the back of it, I would imagine if I take the tension straps off, it will do what the tractor did, and I don't know why it's doing that, but it's pulling it, and I'll take that. Yeah, I found a couple of barrels. Whoa! Oh, there's tree stump. Look, that I'd left, and so I could see it. Whoa! No, okay, so got to be careful here, not turning too sharply. Yeah, found a couple of barrels, so I put the barrels there, nice yellow barrels, so we can see where our bridge is. And the bridge is a little bit further up. Now I don't know, I put our start camp over there. I didn't want it right by the bridge because we're going to be to and froing, and I put the bridge in where I did because those contracts for wood transport were just about here. So it made sense that the shortcut would come straight across the ground, cross the river, right where it was. Now, if any other traffic at any point, once all this is up and running, do I want loads and loads of traffic coming backwards and forwards across here, log-in traffic, whatever it might be, straight past the farm? Probably not. So we're going to put our farm buildings over there. That's why I've separated it out a little bit. And I've kept the weight, but I've sold the grapple. There's another stump there. So yeah, I've made sure I can see where all the tree stumps were. I need to sort out those couple of branches I cut down. I'll say a few and couple, and then couldn't quite get my words out. So I'm quite happy with this worked just fine actually. In the shade of the tree, very nice. We can get open and close when we need to, and then like I say, start of a settlement. That's cool. Let's go and get these logs sold, and let's see if we can't sort ourselves out a plough I was thinking, do I go see... As far as crops go, right, so bear with me on this. Wheat and barley, those kind of things, can be ground down, flour, that kind of stuff. Flour's very important, especially if you've got workers coming in at some point and you need to make sure you've got stuff on hand to feed them. There's all the different crops. I would say, and this is just my own personal opinion, corn is probably the one to go for first, because you can do corn flour, you can do corn oil, you can do corn breads, you can do sweet corn bread, you can just eat the corn, you can do sweet corn soup. You can do a lot with the corn, and I know people will come back with hundreds of things you can do with all other crops. I know, I get it, but I've got to decide what I'm going to put in first. Things like potato, carrots, parsnips, carbohydrate, starchy, those kind of crops is what you'd want if you're going to be starting off to feed a workforce. Do we want all of it at some point? Yes. Oh yeah, greenhouse stuff. I was going to try to avoid doing productions, palleted type things if I could, but a greenhouse would make sense. I suppose there's also the OmaTana gardens, because the OmaTana gardens, we can grow pretty much anything, can't we? I haven't really used those yet. This has worked out so much better than I thought it was going to. And this is that thing I was saying. When I started out and I had the idea and thought, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna crack on. I don't even think this trailer had this trailer been released yet. Did it get an update? I can't remember. I never this was not a rig I envisioned. I didn't think, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have this rig by the time I'm ready to do blah blah blah. Wasn't even on my radar. So it's interesting how that sort of thing happens. Let's see what we get for this load. I'm reckoning 45. Please be 45. Please sell. 40? Have a word, son. There was loads on there. Oh, there's a bit there. Look, missed a bit. Oh, that was because it wasn't in the... Maybe that bit will be worth £5 grand. No. Should be on the actual sell bit. There we go. Alright, not quite £5 grand. So what I'm going to do now, because the trailer will go back down, I'm just going to take you and show you. Disconnect that. Our logging operation, what we got up to that gave us the 4 loads. I said I was kind of cutting a fire break, and that fire break would get extended at some point. Again, stumps need to come out of that, and we are hoping. The plan is, like I said, when I watched that Last Woodsman, and they were saying they only take out the trees that are at the end of life, kind of they've been there a long time and they're getting to the point where, or trees that are dead standing, that kind of stuff. They do cut down other ones, they do, but their policy, the company policy, is 3 trees planted for every tree cut down. And yes, it takes a long time for those trees to grow, but he's been logging 20 odd years. So if he's been doing that for 20 years, the trees he originally started replanting are already grown bigger, not fully grown, but at least you are replacing, that's the thing. So look here, look how much we took out. Now I didn't do that thing, what I should have done. You can see a few of the stumps. I didn't do what I did over there, where I marked where the stumps were. So if we zoom out, you can see a few stumps. There are quite a lot. Look, I left my measuring stick behind. I should... Oh dear, mind you, I'm probably going to need that when we come back. At some point, I want to get a harvester. I want to get a tree harvester. It's going to be expensive. And we don't have that one we had when I did Western Wilds. There was the one that came out, and it was like 100 and something thousand. Compared to the the price of some of them. There is the Kesla 3-point link mounted one, but that will only go up to certain diameters. And to be fair, even the base game one, I don't think, if we go down and have a look, it's not what you think it might be. That's forwarders, harvesters. The Impex will, but that's 750 grand. That'll go up to 120 centimeters. 120 centimeters. Yeah. That'll do 70. So that will do most, but it won't do the bigger, thicker, chunkier ones. So, and I had to look, and there aren't... I thought we'd had a lot more stuff from... I mean, HR Forst and Fahrzeugbau, Woodcraft was another one. Who else do we tend to get logging stuff from? NMC, T-Bone. And we haven't got that many tree harvesters. There are a lot of harvester headers for excavators, but the excavators, and there's a few modded ones, those knocking around, not the cheapest things out there. So, don't know. I definitely need a winch. Like I said, the list of things I'm going to need is growing, because the logging operation is going to fund the farming operation. So if I can speed up the process of my logging operation, cutting down and to the right length, and piling as well. If I can use a harvester, I can cut them to the length I need exactly and put them into neat piles for each tree. Whereas at the moment I'm cutting them down, I'm measuring them, I'm cutting them up, I'm then moving them into a pile, grabbing that pile, loading it onto a trailer. Takes a lot longer. If I can speed that process up even slightly, we can crack on a bit more. And I've got a lot more trees on my property now that we can cut down. Not a huge amount, but we have got some. So I'm thinking then, I had kind of organised in my head what I was going to do for a seeder, but I hadn't really thought about a planter. So what I need to do now is flick through the brochures, see if we can find ourselves a planter. We need to get some seed ordered. The other thing I was going to look for was a mower, wasn't it? I want to try the mowing thing, see if we can cut any of the grass. If I do cut the grass, that's fine, but I'm going to need to collect it. Oh, you know what? Oh no, no, because that would have been nefarious. I should have kept that grapple bucket, because that grapple bucket was 1,500. Was it 1,500 litres or 25,000? I could have just put it on the unreal capacity, and we could have done that. So yeah, if we come into here, and we want what have we got? I did have a look at mowers. We've got, which will be nice and cheap, that £5,000. It's only 4 metre cut, but it'll let us give it a go. I can lease it. I don't have to buy one initially. But we can certainly just leave that as it is. Lease that for 255. We'll lease that. We can give it a go and see if we can mow. And then, like I said, about seeders and planters. So on the seeders, what came out the other day was that the D830 for 10 grand. Again, it's only 3 metre, but we've only got a small tractor, and we could get cracking straight along. And we can do things like peas and, you know, spinach and things like that. I mean, rice, I suppose rice is a real staple, isn't it? Maybe we could do a rice field, because I haven't really done that yet. That's not a bad idea, is it? Rice, because you can do rice flour, rice oil. The same with corn. Maybe we could do one of each. We could do a cornfield and a rice field. So we're definitely going to need, although, have I got enough money to, you know what? We're going to need a seeder. We're going to need one. So I say we buy it. Do I want to? Yeah, I'll get some seed orders as well. I'll have a look in the brochures, see if we can find a planter. Oh no, plough. We need a plough first. Before I even think about seeding, I did say I'd had that 17 grand, but again we can lease 130 horsepower, 3.4 meters. Yeah, I guess if we go much bigger, obviously the price goes up and it requires a lot more horsepower, which I don't have. So we can start on the 9 shank, but again, we'll lease it. We don't need to buy it yet. We can get our field sorted with that. Well, I'm gonna go planter, seeder. Let's sort the seeder out. I'll see you in a minute. Check the brochures. We might have a planter as well. I'll get some seed ordered too. Get that dispatched. I tend to go liftable stuff now. It makes life a lot easier. Again, you don't have to. We can get forks and stuff like that. I shouldn't really be doing liftable, but it does make life a little bit easier. You know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to do stuff proper. There are cheaper alternatives for seed, though. What shall I get? A couple? We'll start with 2. See how we get on. Train is here, and I've started unloading our goodies. I did go for a slightly more used, worn version, which kept the price right down to 10 grand. So we'll undo the straps on that. I did also, big brain moment, got some pallet forks because I suddenly thought if we're going to be doing bags, but I think they've delivered this with seed in it. Yep. So the 2 bags, they put one of the bags in. That saved us a lot of hassle, didn't it? So we've got a mower off there, and we've got the plough just there. Now I can't remember if I only rented that. But I bought the seeder. Planter situation we'll have a look at later for corn. I also had another big brain moment. I've never done this before, actually. I don't know why I did it this time. I was driving the telehandler back over with the log trailer, and suddenly thought, I don't know where the boundaries of our land are. We can come onto the map and we can look here and go, oh yeah. But as far as when you're driving out, because this all looks the same, I don't know. So I decided to erect some posts with some old waterproof coats on and buckets, like scarecrows, and I've marked out the boundary of our area using those. So if I'm doing any ploughing or whatever, as we get out, you'll be able to see them, and you can see where the extent of our land is, which makes life a little bit easier, I think. Oh, I'm not sure why that's decided to disembark itself. Okay, it's okay. Well, I'm glad I put that thing there. Otherwise, that would have been an absolute nightmare. Let's lower that down. Get this off. It's just decided. Yeah, I've had enough. I think I'll get off now. Get that out of the way as well. And then we can gradually come and get each bit. So it's going to be planned for. But although that being said, if I'm going to do a long grain rice field, I need to do that using the rice thing, don't I? That's not just a case of ploughing a field. You have to use the rice paddy thing, but set it flat, don't you? I don't think I've done long grain rice yet, have I? I don't think I have. Quite a scary thought. All this time in, I haven't done that yet. So yeah, at least by the end of this episode, what I want to try to have done is get either long grain rice field in. I want to try the mowing. I think the ploughing and stuff we might have to do next. Whoa, that's doing the same. That's walking itself off. Whoa, let's grab you before you disappear. That's a bit worrying. Let me off. Tell you what I've been forgetting to do as well. I keep forgetting to send the train on its way. Once I've unloaded, I need to let the driver know we're done. Yeah, this costs us every time we have our stuff delivered. There is the rent of the train. They will happily bring stuff to us, but it's not free of charge. So what we'll do is drop that down. I think we can probably take the... actually, you know what we'll do? Let's keep that on. Let's do that. So we can try the mowing first, and then when we get down there, we'll see if we can have a fiddle around. I'll be able to hook this up with the weight on, but I won't be able to run it because obviously I need the PTO. So what we'll do is at least take it down as it is. As we go past our rent train point, we can send the train on its way, and then I'll show you the markers as we get down to the field, and then we'll see. Whoa, that's steep, dude. So let's go there and kapow! Train is off. I suppose I'm trying to think, because when I've done pioneering stuff before, it's generally been forested areas, which I've been clearing the forest and I just, plough my fields. I don't think I've done one where I've had this sort of open ground with trees in, where I've bought a plot and it's not obvious where the boundary is, because normally if I'm buying a plot, it's got a field already on it. So I'm trying to think of a time when I've had to do this before. I don't think I really have. Now I haven't put them, I don't know how far apart I put them. Far enough apart that you should be able to see the next one from one you'll next do. That makes sense. Probably doesn't make sense. That being said, I've probably driven past 2 and haven't even noticed yet. I did put them. I really did. Honest guff. Oh yeah, look. I can see one. Yeah, right in front of us. There you go. There's one there. There's one just over there. And it just gives me a rough idea of where our boundary is. We are going to still need to take some more trees out. Did I put another one in? There should be a few. Oh, there you go. Just there. So it curves round there. Another one there. There you go. I'll put those two quite close together. This does actually go up. We've got a few trees over here. It kind of comes into the corner a little bit. Anyway, so what I was going to try to do and we'll do this before we head over and drop our seed down, is if we disconnect that, like I say, this is just a proof of concept. If it works, that opens up some options for us moving forward, because I no idea. We're about to find out. Oh, mama. Look at all this. Look at what we got. So now I'm thinking, do I cut all this, collect it before I make a field? Because if I build, well, yeah, if I make a long grain rice field, all of that is potentially grass I could have cut. Oh, that's just awesome. And I'm doing this right slap bang where I was probably going to do the rice field. Oh, what do I do now? That's the dilemma. Do I end this episode now on this kind of dun dun dun? Was not expecting this. I've still got 32 grand left. If I turn it into hay, we can do sheep. Obviously, there's the silage option if we want to do cows. If we do sheep and goats, we can get goat milk, which means we've got wool for materials if we wanted to. Again, if we're trying to build a whole self-sustaining community for fabrics, for making clothing, that kind of stuff, wool would be a good idea. So maybe we do sheep. I can do that with just grass, doesn't have to be hay, but we can ted. But then it's, what do I do with it? I'm going to need a cheap alternative to collect. So then what we'll have to do in between is going to be some more forestry to pay for the next bits of equipment we're going to need. Oh, that is absolutely mint. I think what we need to do is just, whoa, careful, mind the weight. Silly boy. Yeah, I'm going to mow it all. I'm going to mow the lot and then decide whether or not we're going to ted it. And what I can do as well, we can mark out our entire boundary. Oh, that's fantastic. Because I must admit, I wasn't sure, and I looked and thought, oh, I don't know, because you've got all these patches of other stuff. Will it let me? Won't it let me? And then next episode, we'll get on with the fields, and we'll get our sowing done. That gives us a chance to have a look at planters. Also, I need to keep a check on where our boundary is, because I did put, you know, there's a, see just there? There's our boundary there. And our next marker is over here somewhere. There we go. We'll go around this tree. I'll mark out the boundary. There's our next one. Just there. It will tell me. It won't cut the grass, will it? If it's not. Again, not something I was intending to do. Not something I was expecting to be able to do. But we'll take it because it makes perfect sense. It's a resource that I'd be insane not to take advantage of. There we go. I need to put a, because this obviously changes direction here. I think I need to put another one of those markers in. Yeah, between that one and that one to show the change in direction, because that tree's there, I couldn't see it. Is this going to take me a while to mow with this? Yeah, but it's cheap and I've only leased it and I've only got a certain amount of horsepower, so it makes sense. We need to cut across here then. And come round the front of there. Awesome. Well, I'm pleased with what we've got done. I wanted to get the bridge in, wanted to get ourselves somewhere we could actually work on equipment and machinery if we needed to, and sell stuff if we needed to. We've got that done. We've got a new telehandler, which again I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Yeah, so you see we've got a couple of trees there. The next marker, oops, just goes up through the trees there. See over there? Now next one was, oh, let's say it will tell me with the mower. Oh, there it is over there. Hit the tree. No. Oh, we've got a few trees we can take out here. Why did I put those two so close together? I really did, didn't I? No, we're all right out there, look. It cuts in reverse? Well, I'll be... This modern fangled technology. Out past you. I think I might have put one down by the water. Probably should have put one in the gap here because I can't see now. Oh yes, over there, look. Didn't realize how close to the water I was. So we have technically got all that as well. And that tree needs to come down. Oh yeah, stump grinder as well. We've got so much to do. So much work in preparation for whatever comes next. Because I don't know what's going to come next yet. I haven't decided. Oh, we can cut all those back as well. I'll leave those by the water. It's some place for all the various different water-based animals. Oh, I've just had another idea. I'll come to that at a later date. I will come to that at definitely a later date. I suppose having the water next to us, we could put in a little water mill. If we did want to do our own flour. This is so cool. 1%. Looks a bit weird with the bag on the front, but you know we're getting the job done. Right. Well, you know what I have to say. I think as far as this episode goes, we might be there. Like I say, I've got all that stuff to bring down. I'm going to look for planters. We'll look at some very different bits and bobs, and settlement has begun. Surprises galore, and I'm smiling. I'm having fun. I'm having fun farming, and that's the point. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.